And just hearing him, he's like the old wise sage at the podium now. I know Draymond's the fire and that. I feel like Looney's the soul. And he was talking about like being the connective tissue because someone asked him about all the young guys and then all the old guys and how he's kind of in between. It was a very weird question. And he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to bring everyone together. And like when I look at him on the court, off the court, he just represents so much good when I think of Warrior culture.
Yeah, no, he's come a long way. Remember the pandemic season? Where it was just like, man, Looney's laboring.
I do.
Yeah, it was like, man, Lou dog, like, I don't know, man. And he's just gotten better and better and better. And I actually want him to shoot for him.
The Flex of the Show, presented by Xfinity Flex, the 4K streaming TV box with voice remote and Peacock Premium, free with Xfinity Internet.
Fun show. Don't forget, 957thegameshop.com. Get your relevant T-shirts. Kyle Matzik came up with the creation. How about that?
You get a cut?
19 on Friday.
You get a cut?
You're welcome.
You get a cut?
No, I got a free T-shirt.
I don't know.
Damn.
Who wants
Shout
a
out
free
to me.
T-shirt?
I know how Odyssey works. Getting a cut of anything is very difficult.
I know how Odyssey works.
You know,
leave that one alone.
This is the best week of the year, not because Christmas, because the boss is gone. Yeah.
Dibs or Matt Nahegan?
No, I meant Nahegan.
Oh, okay. Dibs is the boss. No, I'm kidding. We love you, Dibs. We know he's listening. Might get Wally Pipp this week, big dog.
Better be careful.
Better be careful.
Hey, you guys just transitioned in a way that you don't even know how well you transitioned. You're such pros. Coming up at 11 o'clock today.
Mac Jones?
Kevon Looney.
Oh.
Kevon Looney will be on the show today.
Is it brought to you by Fit Aid?
What's that?
Is it brought to you by Fit Aid?
No, it's just brought to you by Raymond Ritter. Actually. So, exactly 2 hours from now, we will be calling the Warriors' New York hotel room, and we'll talk to Kevon.
Oh, they got the NYC early.
Oh, yes, they did.
They got there early, a little late night. The Apple, Big Apple, baby. Looney, almost a triple-double Friday night.
So good. That was
double last night.
I heard you say it. Yesterday's game was a little food for the soul, and it was also fun because my bet is, and not to throw my man with a J. Rich throwback on right now under the bus, but this is one of those games. Not only is it on a football Sunday, you've got the time change and everything. This one probably got lost for a lot of people. Where you probably like, oh, wait, the Warriors are playing, especially if you got locked in on those afternoon football games, which were tight, and if you wanted to show up for the Patriots making complete fools of themselves, and who's not here for that? It's delicious, right, like DiVincenzo, right? It's like that delicious. And so maybe that got lost, and I bet for a lot of people, by the time you turned it on, it was already like, oh, they're up 15. And Jordan Poole's going off, and that felt like a bath, man, because they needed that.
People miss Draymond Green sinking 3 threes in the first 90 seconds.
Yes.
He had 3 points during the first 2 games he played on the road trip. He hits 3 threes in the first 90 seconds. Like, all right, this is getting weird.
Yep. They needed it, though. They needed it, and that's the Jordan Poole. I mean, obviously not going to get a career high all the time, but if this thing is going to be held together by duct tape for the next month, that's the guy you're going to have to see, and it's going to reboot the conversation of, is that what he looks like when he's a starter? Because he's starting to look better, isn't he?
That's a good conversation that we can have if they can tread water.
Yeah.
I
mean, let's see what he looks like the next 2 nights in New York.
Yeah.
Knicks are hot.
Really good.
Nets are hot.
Both the New York teams are really good right now.
Knicks have won 7 in a row out of nowhere. They haven't really beaten anybody. And the Nets have won 9 of 10. And Kevin Durant is dropping 26 and a quarter against the Pistons. How about that?
That's what I was on a podcast. Remember, Sparky Pfeiffer from the. I was on a podcast with him talking Eastern Conference.
His name is Sparky Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Steve Pfeiffer.
That's him pimping the hell out of this podcast too. I've heard about this interview a lot. You pimping the hell out of it, man.
I want to know about my guy Sparky. No, but he was talking about teams in the East, and it's like he just glossed over the Nets. I just feel like he can't do that.
Ben Simmons is playing really well right now.
And Kevin Durant is still one of the best players on the
Yeah,
on
12 field goals made the other day.
Neither one of these teams has lost in 2 weeks. Neither one of them.
Right.
Neither one of them. So this is an interesting back-to-back.
Kyrie's not talking. He's just playing basketball, which is good for everybody.
What a thought.
Everybody.
What a thought.
He's just, I don't even know if he's saging. He's just dropping 38 randomly on a Sunday against the Pistons.
Good for him.
Brooklyn is tough, man. They're an intriguing team. Jock Vaughn should have got the job in the first place.
I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, and his shoes are on very big clearance right now.
Kyrie's.
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh, yeah, no.
These
are cool shoes.
Jock Vaughn's shoes are on clearance?
Yeah.
No, not the former Orlando Magic point guard.
Okay.
Former Kansas Jayhawk.
Yes. So what's up, guys? Well, like Mac Jones, huh?
I heard he couldn't throw it that far.
I love it.
That's such a funny. There's no So I thought the Warriors' loss in Utah, where they blew the 4-point lead in
that was bad.
8 seconds
Two
or whatever.
botched turnovers out of a inbound play.
Right, just a total disaster. And I'm like, that's the worst sports ending we're going to see, certainly in the NBA and probably all year. And then the Patriots topped it. I don't understand. So they do the draw because Mac Jones can't throw it that far. So they're going to take it, and you figure he's going to go. The first pitch is wild
what are you
enough.
Doing?
Right, but Stevenson does that because, try and make a play. If we fumble it, they just gets picked up right here and go to overtime.
Even then, you got to, I hear you, but even then, it's unless it's a hook and ladder designed play where it's a shorter pass that you're throwing to, and even then, it's a tie game. So you're not chasing points.
So that's what everybody gets on Jacoby Myers. He must have forgotten the score. I think Ramondre forgot the score.
I think they both did.
That's where, because Jacoby Myers said after the game, I was just trying to. So I think
trying to make a play.
There was something in his brain that went off that just went when he got the ball. All right, we're doing this. All right, here we go. And he just let it rip. I think I'm blaming. If you're gonna blame it on somebody, I'm blaming it on Ramondre. That's because
no, he's down my list. I'm blaming it on the Look, Myers is too easy. That's on the coaching staff. And the reason this is food for the soul for all of us is we have spent 20 plus years watching that team and that jersey always be the more buttoned up team. Yep. They don't do, and for them to do that, and this is 2 weeks after Mac is screaming on the sideline about things that are happening on the offensive side, it's the most bizarre deal. Brady is over here on a terrible team in the worst division I've ever seen.
Dating a Giselle lookalike.
Right, but what is more embarrassing since his departure? The Patriots, they hired defensive people to run the offense.
Which is wild.
And I
can't believe they rolled with that.
Look at this.
And Mark, they had a young guy special teams coach, and Jabril Peppers earlier in the game wasn't lined up properly, and they got a punt blocked. And the guy's losing his mind on the sideline, and I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is.
They're a mess.
Belichick started on special teams with the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's his bag.
Yeah, he loves it, and they've been horrific.
And you're talking about this was all simultaneous as Herbert is throwing a dot down the field to Mike Williams to set up the game-winning field goal. The Patriots pull that, knocks them out of the playoffs. They are very, very probably going to get to the end of this thing, and they're going to be out of the playoffs because of that play.
Mac Jones stinks.
But wait, can we back up? He can't throw a football 55 yards?
Not only that,
no
but
way.
You know what? I'm not going to say.
No way.
He's an average quarterback.
No way. And
but
even if you can't, then throw it to the 10.
But I also think
what
Belichick did him no favors. You can't go into his second year in his career where he's trying to ascend and have Joe Judge and Matt Patricia call plays for him.
Of course.
It's a joke. You're putting him in a terrible spot. Now he looks lost. He's yelling at everybody. But that play also overshadowed the Patriots' defense, which is their strength. Giving up a 4th and 10 to the Raiders when they had no timeouts, and they go right down the field and score. A Belichick-led defense. The defense blew that at the end of the game.
Yeah. They're a disaster.
Tough. What else? Lions win. What about the Lions?
Everybody's favorite team.
I told you last week, Lions are going to the playoffs. The Lions are going to the playoffs, and they're the only team that would even give me, not really, I don't worry. This 49er team that we're looking at right now, I don't really worry about them too much in the first round. But if you had to make me say the team that I don't want at Levi's Stadium on January 14th or 15th, that's them. That's them.
I kind of had that thought.
They're a pretty good football team.
Because they have a good offensive line.
Very good offensive line.
Very good weapons on the outside. They have a lot. They have a lot of speed.
Jameson Williams. I knew he was going to come back.
St. Brown's balling
even Chark.
Chark.
They can play.
Chark was
They
good
traded T.J. Hawkinson.
I know.
And got better.
So the team that's going to beat them in the division. They traded into the Vikings, but they were 1-6.
And nobody
Why
trusts
wouldn't
them.
you?
Right.
They have lost one football game in the last 2 months, and it was the 3-point game at home to Buffalo.
Should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
4th down, they throw deep instead of going short. The whole thing made no sense.
That one yesterday was the most impressive one yet. If you really, really dive into the way the NFL works, for the Dome team to go into New York against that defense outdoors in December, be down with 2 minutes to go, and do that that
4th and inches.
That was the game yesterday. I'm like, okay. The Lions aren't just on a little streak here. That's a good football team.
I got to hold an L on Dan Campbell. I thought he was a fraud. He's doing a
Dude.
great job. I'll hold that.
Biting kneecaps. I mean, the press conference is still ridiculous, but Hard Knocks was a ton of fun. And wouldn't you, if the 49ers choices are,
We're going to take your other kneecap.
thank you, if it's Washington, the Giants, the Seahawks, or the Lions, I'll let you eliminate one. Isn't it the Lions?
Yes.
Doesn't that scare you?
I'd
Let me-
rather
let me-
face Washington or the Giants.
Let me see
Right.
what Washington's defensive line does to the 49ers first.
Is Chase Young going to play this Saturday?
He's always hurt.
I have no idea.
Told this guy 2 years ago. That
No,
guy's
you
a
said he
robot.
wasn't good.
He's a robot.
You said he
I
wasn't
kinda-
good.
I-
He's a really good
Clowney.
player.
Well, Big Dog City and I both said the
Jadeveon
same
Clowney.
thing. We were like,
Can't bend.
remember I went down to the Fiesta Ball? It's like,
Yeah.
Kyle Batson, this guy's overrated. He's a bum.
Yeah.
But
He's hurt.
when he's on the field,
No,
He's a
good.
stud.
play.
Yeah.
He's
He
a
can
really
play.
good player.
He's just-
not the number 1 overall pick talent that we were giving him. Like he's just not a sack guy.
yeah, we'll see about that.
He's a
we'll
run
see. It's
stuffer.
early. It's early.
They
It's
just
early.
with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen,
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat. I just think that they could cause some
I
problems
agree
for the
with
Niners,
that.
but I got to see it first.
And their personnel
Let me see it.
offensively is underrated.
Tyler
Yeah.
Heineke, though, can't hold
Taylor
on to the
Heineke
ball.
stinks.
Taylor Heineke, whatever his name is.
He
always
You
tried
don't
to
know his
throw-
name by December.
Yeah,
He's not that
he tried to
good.
throw a pick in the end zone before the pass interference. It's like, dude, you're throwing it right at dudes.
No, Washington and the New York Giants are not very good. Minnesota, everybody's going to have the same conversation, going to call them frauds, and they kind of are. I don't know whether to be impressed by the comeback or hold my mouth and laugh at the fact that you found yourself down by 33 to the Colts at home in a half of football.
Well, I was gonna
don't
ask-
know what they are, but this thing should end with the 49ers playing the Eagles. It just should. They're head and
paper.
shoulders.
Before we get
I'm
there.
not convinced the Eagles. I'm telling you, I got a feeling they're going to be one and done.
Well, don't you wish that the playoffs
I
started
do.
now? If they started right now, because
Yeah.
there's so much that can
I'm
happen
with
over
you.
the next 3 weeks. Even look at what's going on in the AFC. The Chiefs' defense is ridiculous. If this started right now, don't you feel great
I feel like Bengals
about
Niners.
the 49ers?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Bengals
Niners, and Joe Burrow
A
scares me.
three-peat.
Joe
Yeah,
Burrow
you just
scares
gotta,
me.
how can you get hot in December? Can
Right.
you play your best football in December?
I still think Buffalo's going to the
So
Super Bowl.
who's happier this morning, though? The Cowboys, Brady and the Bucks after blowing a 17-0 lead, or Jeff Saturday after the Raiders came through against the Patriots like that? Like, everybody's talking about that Patriots-Raiders play in Vegas. We forgot about the Colts blowing a 33-0 lead. A 33-0 lead. We already forgotten about Brady blowing the 17-0 lead at home to Cincinnati, and the Cowboys won the 27-10 lead against
I
Jacksonville.
love the Cowboys losing.
Tom Brady is
That's so
having
good.
it. I wonder, I always, like Steph Curry's dealt with this. I don't like it when we take these small samples and attach them to people's legacies. It's a little bit over the top. It's a little bit
What do you mean?
clickbait
What do you
stuff.
mean?
But my question is this: how is this affecting the way you look at Tom Brady? He made this decision to come back. Potentially, I don't want to guess at what will happen in his personal life, but potentially at the expense of his entire family. He comes back to play again after a mini retirement, and he is having the hardest time winning the stupidest division I have ever seen in the history of the NFL. He cannot shake 3 teams that have given up. Three teams have decided to not address the quarterback position,
Andy
So-
Dalton.
and he can't shake them.
so
He can't shake them.
I don't think that's going to go as a knock against Brady because he's 46, 47.
Whatever.
That's just going to
45.
be the weird year at the end of his career, I think. The guy whose legacy I think is being impacted is Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers, if this is his last year or this is just what his teams are going to be now, I think that's where there's going to be some revisionist history on like, man, he won those MVPs, but he had one Super Bowl, and those last few years were a disaster.
It's got a CP3 feel to it, where you expect the collapse at the end of the year, and his own teammates hate his guts.
yes.
Even though CP3 doesn't have the one
Made
championship.
guy, though, yeah. It made guy. You win a Super Bowl.
It feels so long ago. It's
I
like
know.
Drew Brees'
I
It
know.
was
Yeah.
long ago. It was what, 2010?
I know, but he needs
2009.
to send a Christmas
Jeez.
card to Russell Wilson because the whole idea of winning one Super Bowl and then actually having it just go completely
Russ
south.
is playing himself out of the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
dead serious
wow.
on this.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm dead
I can see
serious.
that.
If this is
I
what
can see
he is
that.
for his tenure in Denver,
I'm taking Eli
That's
over
kind of a
Russ
bar.
right now.
They-
I thought
Tenure
that
in
was
Denver?
blasphemous just a couple years ago.
Yeah, me too. Hey, look, Russ.
Am I wrong?
They need a head coaching change immediately.
That's gonna happen.
He
But who
needs Sean
wants to
Payton.
coach him?
Can you convince Sean Payton to go to Denver?
Sean Payton is going to the Chargers.
I don't
Staley
know.
might
The
not get
Chargers,
fired.
Yeah, Staley
might not.
He might survive.
They're in the playoffs right now, Shasky.
That would be a Spanos move.
You're right.
Stick with him one more year and not get Sean Payton.
And
even though
fire
he's
Marty Schottenheimer.
They gotta
Fire
get-
Marty
they-
when they're 14-2.
Yes,
They got
exactly.
to get Joe Lombardi out of there.
Give me one quarterback contract that right now I'm going to give you a get out of jail free card, and you can get out of the contract right now, but you got to pick one.
It's Russ.
Russ Wilson,
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, or Deshaun Watson.
Russ.
The Deshaun, I just don't understand the guaranteed. Every dollar guaranteed was so bad.
If you take away the baggage, which is hard to do, I'd rather stick with Watson.
But he's been bad, B.
He's been
bad.
He's been really
but
bad.
Can't
that should
score
be
an
expected,
offensive
though.
He hasn't
touchdown.
played football.
He
cannot-
hasn't played football 2
Okay.
years. I got to give him a training camp, let him play. You're playing in December, guys already at full speed.
Yeah.
Kyler's a close one. Kyler's a close one.
I'm sticking with Kyler.
But
I think Cliff stinks. I think
yeah.
a good coach could help him.
Yeah, and they're not already going to get rid of Cliff.
Probably.
They have to.
So
Probably.
the GM
Think close to
Klein
the
is now
Broncos.
sick.
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
sick.
sick, and
He's got
so he's
health
out.
issues.
So they're gonna have
Maybe.
what?
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air.
Oh no, but like basically he stepped away. So to
be
me
the
it
bottom
gives him
again.
an opening to reset the whole thing.
Stress. I mean, it'd be Russell Wilson.
I
It'd have to be Russell.
I agree, but it's close. They're
Russell
all-
Wilson's contract
they're
hasn't
all
even
bad.
started yet.
I know.
And
I
Seattle
know.
gets their pick.
Neither is Kyler's.
Yeah,
neither
Seattle's
is
getting a
Kyler's.
top 5 pick.
It's a top
And-
five.
I would. That's why-
Financially, neither is Deshaun's. His salary was $1 million
I
this
guess
year.
that's true. Yeah.
Next
But-
year,
but
bucks.
like
Yeah.
Bonte said, you can't. I mean, it's really hard to remove. I wouldn't have signed Deshaun Watson to begin with.
Right.
Like kick him to the
You gotta
curb.
say
Yep.
But I think from a football standpoint, I'm going to bank on him figuring it out and Kyler eventually figuring it out way more than I'm going to bank on Russ becoming Russ.
I agree.
If Deshaun doesn't pan out in Cleveland, we're going to have to give Bill O'Brien a lot more credit.
Yes.
In Houston.
Yes. They're up 24-0 on
No,
the
but
Chiefs
Bill-
in Kansas City.
But Bill
Wow.
O'Brien-
Should have gone for it. Up
here's the problem.
21-0. Should have gone for it up 41.
Bill was a decent coach.
I
It's
agree.
the GM stuff
Yes.
where he couldn't do it. Like,
Right.
you trade 1 million picks for Laramie Tunsil.
Right.
And you sign what's the big stiff from Denver? Come on, the big quarterback that he signed.
Brock
for.
Osweiler.
He gave
The
a
big
bunch of
stiff.
because he was a big stiff.
Is Brock Purdy already better than Brock Osweiler?
Oh, yeah,
Is he
no
the best
doubt.
Brock of all time?
No doubt.
I mean, the Hopkins David Johnson trade,
Oh, dude.
Horrible.
right?
Horrible.
Right?
Yeah, that was awful.
Unbelievable.
And then David Johnson breaks his,
David
breaks his
Johnson.
hand
After he was
opening the door.
washed.
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
already washed.
He was already
Oh,
done.
my God.
All right, so I also love to hear what you guys say about this, and I know that this city, this station, we've got time for this, and I know it's going to
I
come up
already
a
know what you're
1,000
about
times.
to ask.
Well,
Best gift giver?
I'm listening to you guys play the Romanowski sound. I'm listening to you guys play the Romanowski sound, and so my question is,
15 years. Come on.
what is Brock Purdy? Where's the line to where he becomes the presumptive starter for next year?
I got to see a month of football first.
I'm not saying we're there yet.
No.
Is there a weekend of the playoffs
So,
he has to
look,
get to?
let's
Does
say-
he have to get to the Super Bowl?
No,
Is
no,
it
no.
not possible at all? Is it already the case?
Let's say,
Like a
We're
smart
already,
person.
it's already going to be an open battle. It's going to be
Okay,
competition.
so that's
it's
where
a
you
battle.
are. It's
no
an
doubt.
open battle right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But
What-
if he wins the Super Bowl, it's like,
what if he
But-
gets to the Super Bowl?
well, and what does it look like?
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
That's
it.
it right there.
Is it
I don't know.
just, for example, if all 3 games getting to the Super Bowl resemble, Raheem Mostert ran for 260 and Jimmy threw 9 times.
How about
like,
if it looks like it's looked?
no,
then
if
no.
it looks like it looks, hell yeah, he's the dude.
You
Like,
think?
He's
QB1
throwing 20
for
times
sure?
in a half. Like they're throwing the ball all over the field. Like I'm giving him a lot of credit. He looks damn near flawless. I don't know if that's sustainable though. He's looked pretty freaking good.
Is there a certain playoff level
and
he
the
needs
play
to?
calling to me has dictated Shanahan's trust level in
Yeah,
him. Now
right.
that's
Yes.
for right now. But let's see.
But you know what, Shasky? I've seen a lot of the same plays. It's just Brock is taking chances that Jimmy wouldn't take.
Yeah, but they didn't drop back in any playoff game and threw 25
Yeah,
attempts
no doubt.
in a half.
Well, we haven't seen that with Brock yet.
Right.
We'll
That's my
see.
point.
Yeah,
Totally.
we'll
So
see.
like if
He
he
handles
attempts,
pressure better.
Yeah.
he had
handles pressure a
28
lot
attempts.
better.
I believe
Move better.
28 attempts in the first half of the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it's
Miami
one
game, Miami game.
No, it's one game. But my
He only
point,
threw 21 times against Tampa.
my point being is like if you're dropping back 25 times and a half in a playoff game, that tells me a lot of what Shanahan thinks of him. Oh, and also probably the best strategy to beat the team that's in front of him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if Super Bowl and you lose? NFC Championship
How does
game
it
What does
look?
it look
and you
like?
lose.
How does it look?
Again, it looks like
I
it's
agree.
looked. It looks like it. You know what I mean? Like it. I know right now we're all under the assumption that no one's ever going to score more than 17 points against the 49er defense.
Right.
But what if you go to Philadelphia, you know what I mean, and you lose 28-27?
See, this is why I agree with Bonte. I think it's going to be a competition no matter what.
No matter what.
Unless Brock comes out and just starts throwing for 350 a game.
Right.
And it's like, oh, he's Patrick Mahomes. And that's not going to happen, I don't think. So I think no matter what, there's going to be a competition. Now, maybe he goes in next year as it's his job to kind of lose. Like he has the inside track.
He has the edge.
But even then, I think it's going to take a couple playoff wins, and he has to play really well.
And I think Trey Lance deserved. I know people are oh, man, you won't leave Trey alone. Trey played with Kittle one time in a win against Houston in a do-or-die game last year.
Yeah.
Hasn't played with McCaffrey. Didn't play with Kittle this season. Yeah. When he got hurt, they moved into the red zone twice in that Seattle game.
But Bonte, I think we're overthinking it. Like, the NFL's just so wild.
It is wild.
We bench Zach Wilson. He'll never play again. Oh, Mike White's hurt. Get back in there. You know what I mean? Like,
they had no choice. Things happen.
Things do happen.
But I'm just saying.
I thought he threw his last pass 5 different times. Five different times.
I'm saying it's not fair to Trey to just say, hey, give the job to Brock. Let him battle in training camp. Let the starters again. And by the way, all the reports about him struggling in training camp, well, what do you know? He was going up against the number 1 defense in the NFL every single day.
Yeah.
It's tough to navigate.
No, look, he's going to get his chance, and the 49ers already, we knew this just by virtue of the injury. Forget where your belief is in Trey Lance. Just because of the injury, they had to have another quarterback, a viable quarterback option. So I don't know where we are yet. This is just me with Brock and Trey. I do think we are at minimum on the verge of Brock saving the 49ers from having to go get somebody else.
I agree.
Like, I'm out on all this Brady and Rodgers stuff.
Yeah, I am
that
too.
will not go away.
It won't go away.
I
thought you were going to ask us what happens if Jimmy gets healthy in the playoffs.
No. Well, I mean,
I thought you were going to ask that because somebody asked us
I'm
that.
out.
Gene in Oakland, I believe, asked us that, and I was like, boy, I don't even want to go there.
No.
I don't even want to go there.
Is Brock healthy?
Shanahan's already said.
If Brock's healthy.
Shanahan's already said it's 7 weeks to recover.
This is insane.
And then, so you're looking at the NFC. So you're going to go into the NFC Championship game with the guy who got you there, and then bring in a guy who's just now getting back into foot. No.
Do you know what's weird about that conversation? That's the kind of conversation you have when what you're currently looking at is bothering you.
Yes.
Right.
Why is anybody thinking about Jimmy or Trey right now? Roll.
Yes.
Just roll.
Because, Mark,
you're here.
It's the quarterback position for the
I
San
know,
Francisco 49ers.
but it's going well.
I watched Jeff Garcia orchestrate one of the greatest comebacks of all time in Niner history, and people were like, first 2 quarters, he was so bad. He's the reason we got into a 25-point deficit.
But you don't even have one drive of evidence on Brock right now.
Well, he's got 2 throws that, again,
everybody
I agree with you.
Right.
I'm saying, but like that's what the hater would say is, well, Diggs dropped that big pass over the middle, and look it was a closer game, and he threw that pick to the defensive lineman that dropped into coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I throw my hands up and say, this guy's played about as good as you could play. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
They got to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
They got to keep him healthy.
Which is crazy.
He's got the swag, though. He's brought the swag to the position. He's making plays, man. The third read to Kittle there, the third quarter, because I'm thinking, I'm right there where Kittle caught it. That's where I was basically sitting. And I'm like, yeah, you could drop that. But I'm like, oh, Kittle just broke open, but he's like the fourth read, and yet Purdy still stay patient. His patience in the pocket has blown me away. I did not see this coming.
The thing that makes me so encouraged about Brock Purdy is not the ceiling, because we might just be seeing it. Like this might, but if the thing with the Niners and this team and the way they're built, it's not about the quarterback ceiling, it's about their floor. Mm-hmm. Can the Niners win a game where Brock Purdy has his worst day? And I'm becoming
very, very probable. Yeah,
more and more encouraged that's the case.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, Jimmy had a lot of bad days, and his team bailed him out multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt. This defense is playing at such a level that, when people say, oh, well, can Brock Purdy lead a team to a comeback win? I don't think this team's going to fall behind because of this defense.
It might happen, though. Special teams. You
never know.
Ball.
You never know.
You go to
interception.
Like even in the last month, we've watched this team, right? The first play of the game against Miami, it's 7-0. The Chargers go right down the field. hot knife through butter. They adjust really, really well. But
it's so early in the game. I'm talking about like third quarter, down 21-10.
But could Jalen Hurts
2013.
Could Jalen Hurts dot 2 touchdowns on you in the first quarter?
Absolutely.
That could
Absolutely.
happen. Yeah,
Can
that
happen.
could absolutely could happen.
AJ
You know what
Brown
I mean?
cooked the Niners last year.
What's that?
AJ Brown cooked the 49ers.
Exactly.
Tennessee. Oh, yeah,
God.
that's right. Yeah.
So
we should have won that game, though.
Totally.
I
think they do
about
if Jimmy
10
doesn't get
different
hurt.
ways.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to do.
That was a game everybody said, forget the Warriors game. Curry dropped 46 that night,
Oh, my
and nobody
God.
gave a single damn. I'm doing post-game show in front of nobody. I'm like, wait, why is everybody
News check's
sad?
still open.
I was so
He's
mad.
not even there.
That
Bully
game.
wasn't even there. He's like, yo, what happened?
So I don't want to jump king of the hill, but just take the whole NFL, okay? And this is going to be a little bit of a twist on Jim Harbaugh's old line. Who's got it better than us? Who's if you're the 49ers, who's better than us?
Kansas City.
Are
Kansas
they?
City for
Just
sure.
because
Yes.
of that guy.
You see Jerick McKinnon.
I do
Oh,
not.
of course I saw Jerick McKinnon. You don't think I saw your boy, the paper airplane, running one in to end the game?
See,
Willie
Speaking of
said
which-
Dredo.
His legs aren't
Willie said
his
Dredo
legs aren't
text me,
tired
Chiefs
anymore.
legend Jerick
I hate
McKinnon.
him.
You see that? And I said, I can't wait till Cincinnati kicks your ass. I really can't.
Again.
Seen with Kansas City the last 3 weeks?
No,
I'm just saying.
Mark, I watched
Yesterday
this
was
team
weird.
come into
Was it?
Levi's.
Yeah.
Was
I
it?
watched this team come
I
into
think so.
Levi's and do anything they wanted.
They gave
dominated for the
yes,
most part.
right, and that was first of all Christian McCaffrey in a part-time role. That was a completely
I'm talking about their defense. Got
I-
rolled. They didn't get a stop.
right with Mooney
For like
Ward
3
totally
quarters.
compromised. Like, point is, look, the 49er defense has sort of recalibrated since then. I don't think it would look that
Okay.
way if they played tomorrow. And if it was, the 49ers would be on completely different footing in terms of being able to get into a shootout, not so much because of Brock, because of what's happened to the Chiefs defense.
I've got Kansas
Look,
City PTSD for a variety
get
of
it.
reasons.
They also,
I get it.
I know what you're going.
also
Like they've
really
been
good.
struggling the last
gave
couple
up
games.
28 points to the Broncos. That's
Yeah.
a month and a half's worth of points for the Broncos.
It's a division.
It's a division
opponent.
game,
Yeah.
though. Division games are different.
And so what about then yesterday?
And
How's Davis Mills cooking them?
No, but
But
there's
they
a
don't-
lot of teams
you
in the
gotta
league
think,
that play tight games down the stretch. The Niners, the year they went to the Super Bowl, they lost to a horrible Atlanta
team.
Falcon team down the stretch.
No doubt.
It happens.
But it's a 3-week run now. I'm not
well,
not
they've also had McCole Hardman out.
Yeah.
Tony's been out. He came back yesterday. That's their weapons. They run a lot of jet sweeps with Hardman.
I'm not
It's a big-
selling Chiefs stock. I'm just telling you, their defense, this would be my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you who's going to be the one to do it. Their defense will prevent them from winning a Super Bowl this
So
year.
the only reason I kick back, Chris Jones specifically dominates the 49ers.
Yep, he dominates.
Every time we've played them, he has monster games, and he's a wrecking. Forget that. The bigger thing is Houston Texans, if you're listening to me right now, you need a complete redo. You need to change the nickname. You need to change the colors.
Go back to the Oilers.
whole thing.
Why?
Ask the Titans.
Wait.
The
Ask the
Texans
Titans.
are maybe the worst name and uniform combo in all of sports.
I would go
Am I
back to the
wrong?
Oilers. I would ask the Tennessee Titans, hey, can we use the Oilers name?
It's terrible.
And go back to the Oilers. The
You're not
Texans
gonna-
are terrible.
In 2022, you're not going to have a team running around with an oil rig on the side of
Hey,
his
man,
helmet.
why not? Those
Not gonna
uniforms
happen.
are clean.
The Texas team, you know anyone that lives in Texas, the Texas team is the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
All right? So for them to call themselves the Texans, they just need a complete rebrand. That's what I would do if I ran that organization.
Move him to Oakland.
Oakland Invaders.
Their
part two?
rebrand might start with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback.
Casario.
Have fun down there.
Enjoy that.
Have fun.
Yeah.
All
Have fun,
right.
And
Yeah,
Pierce
yeah.
is a baller, though.
Hey, Willard and Batson, going to be fun. Kevon Looney, 11 o'clock, coming off 2 straight double-doubles as the Warriors get a road win, the third of the season. Should be a fun show. Willard and Batson coming up here on 95.7 The Game.